Alright, first one up, MGA.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Hello, hello. You know
How
what?
are you doing?
I'm gonna beat you to it this time. Prisons is whenever it's announced on the forums. Alright, now, whatever your question is, go for it.
Oh, yeah, well, that was the last one I was gonna ask before you remove my thing, but sure. So about the island quests, is there gonna be any changes to that next map?
Is there gonna be any changes to it? In terms of like the base system, I believe we've actually changed this, the past 3 maps now? I know when we released it, it just wasn't really utilized, but I think especially after, say last map, especially after map 7, I think we've finally gotten it into a good place. So while there might be like a couple of number changes, a couple of loot changes, the system itself will be staying the same. If any changes are to be made to it, I don't even know if you'd call them changes. We're looking to add a bit more utility to the island quest, and we'll go into that a little bit later. But I will say they are going to be island top related. So
Okay. Also about the PvP iron sets, are they gonna get changed at all next map, or all of them are staying the same as they were this map?
PvP iron sets. What exactly are you
Not
referencing
all
with
of them.
that?
Like no, like all the PvP sets, like the special sets, are they gonna
Oh, the
stay the same or?
catalyst. I mean,
Yeah.
as you guys have seen, I mean, I opened a suggestion thread for that a couple of days ago just to kind of take in your feedback, and it does sound like the only real kind of like, I guess I could call it concern with the sets this map was the dwarf set. And we already buffed that kind of end of map 7. That was in like an update post. That just changing like the negated incoming damage with that. I know a couple of people mentioned we might have changed it too high. If we need to lower it back down a little, we can do that. But as of right now, we're going to be releasing it with I believe it's like minus 12.5% incoming. But that's our only real plan change for release. Other than that, it's just going to be kind of tweaking the way some of the catalysts are obtained. Once again, we'll go into a little of this later in the Q&A, but there are going to be a couple of realm changes going into this map, so those catalysts will be affected. And then as for the boss catalyst, I really like its utility, how it kind of played into PvP this map. My only issue with it is with how important of a role it plays. It kind of turned into whatever alliance got like the first set. They were kind of able to really control like the bosses after that. So we are going to have like some percent of the bosses spawn as neutral going into map 8. But other than that, like there aren't going to be any major changes to the catalyst.
Okay, and the last question you kind of forgot. When are we getting item flips?
Ooh, I did not predict that one. I mean, I will answer that honestly. It's a case of, it's been memed about in the past. I am open to the idea. I will say it's not anything we have scheduled. I know there's kind of been like, I don't know. I'm not against it. I'll at least be willing to look into it, and I'll say that. But
Yeah, I mean, everyone does it anyways with like 1k CFs and stuff. It just prevents people from getting scammed and stuff.
yep,
I mean, there would be more people willing to do it because like they don't have chance to be scammed and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was on Sky, it was on Prisons, even on Old Sky. Why not bring it back?
yeah, y'all are addicts, as I say. But I mean, I'm all for the idea. I mean, it's something we need to look into. So
Any mini games planned for future, like Bed Wars?
I will say it is funny you say that, but I guess you're just gonna have to see.
Okay, okay, I see, I see.
Uh,
Okay, that's about it.
that's it. Cool, cool.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye. No way we have Joe in the audience. What's going on?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Alright. Next up. Oh god, CC Easy.
I forgot I had my hand up. No, I'm just wondering who Mew wielded was. Like, whose ult was that one that got highest top 1?
I don't know. That's a question from you, Wielded.
Well, you are Mew wielded.
I am dual wielded. Let's clarify.
Oh, hell no, we know exactly what you look like on that Mew wielded.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Anything else?
Yeah. I don't know. Apart from the bees, what are the bees? People said the bees were cooked, but like OP, but cooked.
Wouldn't be a question for the Q&A, but a new mechanic added map
Okay.
7. If you want to read up on that in the wiki, it's on the wiki.
Great. Anyway, I forgot I had my hand up. I'm playing Battlefield. Thank you.
Dude just wanted to talk.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's not winning.
Alright, peace.
Peace, peace.
The question is, who's this orange official guy? What a random.
Dun dun dun! Sir Willis.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
First of all, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Great. Okay, I have a question about factions. Are you ever thinking of getting it back?
I will say that I'm the type of person where it's never say never, but, you know, PvP is not
No,
the
I mean,
most...
has it ever been discussed with the staff and, you know?
That's not something I would be able to answer, but I'd say, you know, PvP is a dying game mode, so it's, you know, much more unlikely than anything like prisons or anything like that. But I don't know. You'll just have to say. Anything Sky related though?
Okay. Yes. About the adventures, are you gonna be changing them to like through the season, like you did the last season, or they're gonna be, you know, steady?
Changing them throughout the season, that being build wise, or
No, the spawn rate, because if I remember correctly, the spawn rates were a bit fucked, and then you changed them, then they were even more fucked, and then
I don't. And I might be losing track of things. I don't believe that was this map. I believe it was map 6 where we had a lot of those issues.
Yes, not the last map, the map before. I haven't played the last map.
Yeah, no worries. That was just because we made kind of like a pretty dramatic change to the way spawning worked. But I believe by the end of map 6 we got that into a good place, and I don't think we changed it at all throughout map 7, so it should be in a pretty good place now.
So, I mean, I played a little bit this season, so it's gonna stay same as it is like right now.
Yep, if any changes were to be made, it would be put in the update channel.
Okay. And are you planning to change the loot from the mythics and heroics?
That would be a
In my
Tater
opinion,
question.
What I saw, I mean, in my opinion, what I saw, they were really not that good. And you said, like, if you get a mythic, you're gonna get a mythic loot, but that wasn't really like the case.
I mean, I guess that depends on if you're referring to Mythic Island Quest or Mythic Adventure Loot, but...
No, the adventure loot.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be the one making changes to that. That would be Tater. I can tell you, like, that's something which typically does change mid-map, and I'm sure there will be some changes made to that throughout map 8. The man, the myth, the legend.
Not gonna lie, I was yelling at Black Lives. What?
Valid.
What was the
Don't
question?
matter. Nah, the adventure mythics and the heroics chests, like the loot from them. I remember someone said, like, if you get a mythic, you are gonna be happy when you get it. But that was not really the case. Like, from what I saw from the loot that you get, they weren't really, like, that amazing.
Can you name
So are they
specific
gonna
loot
be-
that you're referring to?
No, not really. I haven't played the last map. I only, like, looked a bit. But
So you're going based off what other people are saying.
Kinda, yes.
Gotcha.
'Cause
So
I'm interested.
So what I'll say is, if there's legitimate concerns around it, then cool. I would suggest
No,
making.
I wanna know, like, are you gonna change it at all for the next season?
If I feel that it needs to be changed, yes. But what I'll tell you is that there was a lot of changes made to it already, especially in the last map, where we literally took out most of the bad stuff, especially when we made adjustments to how mythics were obtained. So we did make changes to where literally we removed all the nonsense. We removed all the gems, all the dust, all the things that people wanted to have removed. Now, keep in mind, when we remove all the bad stuff, new items become the bad items. So
no, I get it.
so I'm happy to have conversations around that if people still think that things need to be adjusted. But as of right now, do I plan on making any changes? No, because I'm not aware of it being in a state where it needs to be adjusted. So if we want to have those conversations, cool. Tag me in a suggestion thread. Let me know what you think needs to be adjusted, what you think needs to be moved around. But to my understanding, when people got mythic chests, overall they were happy with it because what they were getting was useful and valuable. So if that's not the case, I haven't seen a suggestion thread ping me yet. So
Okay, cool. And one more question. The island top, are you ever planning to get back the like duos and those islands like
Yeah, I believe what you're referencing. I think that actually was called leagues on Old Sky, although that has a very different meaning now. While it's something we looked into, we aren't really looking to bring anything like that back. The reasoning being, even though, yeah, the leaderboards existed beforehand, they were very, very problematic. Even if you had, like, I don't know, like a leaderboard for solo islands or small islands, whatever it may have been, they typically involved larger groups either feeding into those smaller islands, giving them resources, account sharing. There was several different things players were doing to abuse that system, so it's not something we would look to re-implement.
No, I mean, I don't mean to bring it back like for the actual comp. I guess I would like to see where am I standing against other, let's say, 5-man groups or 4-man groups or something like that, you know.
And what I'd say in that case is we aren't looking to bring back that old mechanic, but if you haven't played the last map, I suggest playing map 8. And the new league mechanic we have isn't exactly the same as that. It's not based off of members, like member count, but I think it has a similar result because you're kind of playing against islands on your level, if that makes sense. So I suggest looking into that and playing with that system, and then if you have any suggestions from there, I suggest making those, and it's something we'd look into.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks. That's all from me.
Cool. Alright, next up is Tricky Ricky himself.
Hello. I just want to know if there's any planned new content for Adventures, or is it just going to remain as was?
I won't say exactly what it is, because I feel like I've been saying a lot about the new map. But yes, there is going to be something adventure-related we are releasing map 8 with, and trying to think if we have anything planned down the road this map. I don't have my Maply list of updates pulled up. I think we are doing a couple of things adventure related, but regardless, I can tell you we are at least doing something for release. Yes.
Okay, nice. My only other question would be: are you planning on adding any other content creators?
It's something we're always looking for. If we feel that someone is kind of ready for that position, then we'll reach out. It's always something we're looking for, but yeah.
All right, that was all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Cool. You DC'd too quick and I almost moved myself to the audience. Next up. Apple, you might want to deafen.
If you say it, you're getting banned.
I'm not gonna say it, okay? I'm not, don't worry about it. Anyways, I stop. You said that PvP is gonna be a part of it. How is PvP actually gonna be a part of it?
I will say, I am going to say hold that thought for now. I am going to have kind of like a separate part later in this Q&A talking about specifically what we want to do for Island Top. Okay?
Yeah, okay. Also, back to the crystals, when you said
Catalyst?
Dwarf was the only issue, yeah, sorry, Catalyst. And, like, what was the issue in the Catalyst itself? Was it that Dwarf was being too, little used, or was it that Fairy was used too much?
It was in a good place, map 7, because it was kind of designed to be really easily obtainable. And then just in doing so, you just didn't really get the best crystal. I mean, it's just, slightly negated damage, which, I mean, it's fine, but just our goal is going into this next map, all of the Rome Catalyst, the way they're kind of obtained, I don't want to word it that way, but there's going to be some, like, larger scale changes to realms. And just in doing so, I kind of want, like, specifically, like, the Dwarf and Fairy Catalyst to be a little bit more difficult to get. And I think those changes are kind of, I don't know. I think it's just appropriate to match that, as well as the fact that I think the damage in Chain and Iron PvP especially ended up being a little bit too low, especially with some of the other things we added towards the end of the map, that being, like, some of the Aether Tech enchants and all of that. So, I don't know. We'll see what it is. As I said, I'm not really, like, I'm not really, like, sold on these changes. Like, something like that, it's an easy thing of, like, mid-map, if we need to change it from, like, minus 12.5 to minus 10 or whatever we have to do, like, that's something we can do. But for release, I mean, I think 12.5 will work.
Okay, and lastly, who tested the new enchant? You know what enchant I'm talking about. The only enchant that does 10 true damage when it procs.
5 big booms! Boom! It was tested by myself and Mr. Apple.
I'm sorry to say this, but that enchant is literally you proc it 3 times and then it kills someone. Like,
Then get it.
I don't think the game really needs more true damage when you can already proc 1 sword hit and kill someone with just bleed and death touch.
Sounds
Like, true damage is an issue in this game, that's the thing.
sounds like a good enchant.
Well, I mean, there is a bit of a cooldown in terms of, like, how often you can be affected by it. If you don't think that cooldown is long enough, then of course just, like, let us know. But
I don't think it's the quick drop potential. Imagine getting pot blocked, like, with the sword enchant into swapping to an axe, proc that enchant, and it guarantees kills anyone regardless of what's called, regardless of what tier of armor you have. It's that strong. It just makes it where whoever gets lucky first just gets insta one-shotted.
So potentially you need additional ways to negate that sort of damage from these science enchants. But that's all the type of feedback which, of course, we're here for and we're going to look into.
Yep. Alright, that's it for now.
Alright, let's see. Panda.
Hello.
Hello.
Quick question.
Yep.
Has Australians been buffed at all?
Have Australians been buffed? That's an interesting question.
I know back in the day and after the re-release, Australians have still been very harshly taxed. Like,
are you just talking about ping? What exactly are you referencing? Because that could mean a lot of different things. I know we've had, like, pretty bad...
delay and everything like that.
I mean, there always will be some level of ping delay. I mean, you know. But as for, like, the more general server lag, not really specific to any region, but I can say towards the end of this map, this being literally, like, the past 72 hours, there were a handful of things we put in place, so hopefully for the remainder of this carnage and, going into map 8 release, hopefully we shouldn't be seeing the, the extensive lag that we had for the past couple of weeks, because I know it was a headache for, like, a large portion of the community. It's been a headache for us, so really happy that got done. But as for anything specific to the Aussies, I don't believe anything has been done. Yeah, I don't know. Buy a plane ticket.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
No.
Sick.
I mean, the main thing with that as well for Panda is I'm not sure when the last time he played was, but we did out of course a few maps ago how if you're attacking mobs on your island, it's like a whole different system and it's like easier to like properly kill them, so that potentially should help you. But other than that, there's only so much we can do.
I think that was literally a map 1 change, wasn't it?
No, definitely not. It was a few maps. It was where like you don't actually see the kill animation anymore.
Oh yeah,
So
that
it's
might
like-
have been later on. Yeah.
It's like map 4, but I just don't know when the last time they played was.
Okay. Is MGA back up on? I thought it was in order. Alright, we'll go to the bottom. Stevie.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I've heard you talk previously about hating alt island meta, and as a very much abuser of the meta, I hope you manage to. Is there any plans to like reduce the effectiveness of them next map?
I'll say 2 things. This map, our main focus is, and I hope you guys are happy to hear this. Our main focus is the island top system. I will put that out there now. We, finally realized that we're kind of getting tired of the trophy system. We're moving away from that. We're doing that, and we are doing big changes to the realms, which should heavily mitigate the alting players we're doing there. As for just using alt islands in order to create resources, we aren't going to be doing too many changes there this map, just because our focus for islands right now is the island top system. I still agree it's an issue, and later down the road, I want to see if there's something we can do to kind of help mitigate that.
Okay. Well, if you ever need input, I think I have some ideas about it, so let me know.
Cool. Something like that, literally just put it in suggestions. That is something like I am fully open to get community feedback for, because it's a pain in the butt to deal with, so.
Yeah. Okay, all good.
Cool.
That's it.
Emote.
Hello.
Hello.
I was just gonna ask, continue on what you said. So you say you're moving away from the trophies.
Yep.
Are you gonna have a whole other system to decide ISOP, or will it just be trophies in another system?
As I said to Resistors, I'm looking to have kind of a dedicated section towards the end of this Q&A. What time is it? Probably like another 30 minutes from now, in which it is something where I want to go over the what we're planning on doing here, and that way, a week before the map starts, we have that feedback from you guys, and if we need to pivot at all, we can pivot. But it's a system where I'd say it's kind of 50. You know what? We'll go into it then. I don't want to attempt to explain it now.
I'll put my hand back up, and you can take someone else.
Cool.
All right. Cheers.
Peace. See, I gotta build suspense for you guys. Equipping.
Did you miss me?
Yes. I've not seen you around for a while.
I've been busy doing stuff like not playing Minecraft. I was just wondering, I know there's BAH changes that were changed, making it 2 hours instead of 30 minutes, isn't it?
Yes.
Something like that. Do you think that's going to be reverted for early map, considering the difference in how BAH is used?
I don't think it's going to be reverted. Obviously, there'll be different items in there, because right now those items are kind of focused towards end of the world, like Demonic Abyss, all of that. But the idea is that BAH happens less frequently, and then the items going into BAH are much higher value. Like, I believe in the loot table, there's like CCs, loot boxes, +1 gems, things to kind of that caliber. And, even in previous maps, there were items within the first day that just wouldn't get bid on BAH, just because even then they didn't hold any value. So I understand BAH. I understand
I
BAH
like
still
almost
had
thinking of
more
stuff like
utility.
redstone toolboxes though, and like stuff that are like kinda like useful map learning map, but like
And there's other places
you
to
get
put
me.
those. There's other places to put those. I don't even think redstone toolboxes have been in BAH the past few maps. Now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing
I
them.
don't. Well, that's not my problem. What was I thinking? The other thing is, going to be updates to bees.
Updates to bees. I love the bee system. I am always open to ideas of how we can kind of expand on it. I think it's a cool system. I would love to expand on it. I don't want to dedicate too much time into it right now. I think there's a lot of other really cool things we can expand on with islands and, you know, other kind of core systems. But I think like towards the end of the map, not even end of the map, but just like mid to end map, I think there's a lot more we can do with it. And then we also have some pretty large updates to island planned for next map, which I think should also impact these as well. So kind of, but I mean, and we did also just implement the OP Barry B Benson pet. So
can I have one?
No. But thank you for asking nicely.
No.
Anything
You're
else?
not meanly now. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something bullshit. Give me a minute.
Oh God. Someone said Builder's Wand. I will say we have officially. I won't say if it will or won't happen, but we're officially looking into either some sort of Builder Wand or Dirt Gen Bucket, something to that effect. I don't know what it'll be, but we're looking into that for map 8.
Also,
won't be Start of the
Could have
World.
really said hi. I'm just gonna say it.
On the pause of aviation. I forgot the rest.
You haven't even said hi, Apple, yet, and you're starting with that. Okay. And is Tater even here, or is he just lurking?
He's napping.
Okay. Good night.
Alright.
More pizza videos. Bye bye.
Have fun. Have fun. Yeah, I said in regards to Island Quest, if we're going to change anything about them, it'll just be numbers based. Especially Start of the World, I'm down to have those numbers be significantly easier for Island Quest. Just, you know, people have less resources, you know. Let's see. I can't see whose name this is. Streamer mode blocks it out, but welcome to the stage. Why? Whoever that may be.
Hello.
Hello.
Metro.
What's up?
I have a question about SOTW.
Mm-hmm.
The economy, at least for someone who plays solo and is not pay to win, it's literally hard, really hard. Like, is there anything changed or something?
I will say in regards to the money eco Start of the World, I'm assuming that's what you're referencing, yes?
Not really, like to getting the protection books, sharpness, and everything, so you can get started in Adventure, and yeah, so you can start making money. That's what I'm referring.
Yeah,
Kind.
I mean, Start of the World on. I mean, that's not even really unique to Sky. Like all 3 Cosmic servers, people are always going to have less resources on server release, and therefore, you know, like basic necessities like that, which you know you don't even think about later in the map, they are typically much harder to get. Yeah, that definitely will still be a thing. Although, compared to some previous maps, obviously we had at map 7. But having Island Quest available to players, I think, should really help. Should really help kind of smaller groups of players getting started out. Just because it gives you kind of like another, I don't know, another stream of resources, which should help you guys.
Yeah, I got it, and I would like to have a suggestion as well. Like you guys are doing it, but yeah. The Action House and economy about that. Like I've seen it on there where the items are really good at selling. Like the money keeps the value, if you understand what I mean, and the items are selling really fast. And I think you should try to keep that.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely appreciate it. I mean, recipes is something we've kind of been tweaking on and off the past couple of maps. I think for the most part, we have finally got them into like a really good state. I still like kind of changing things up between maps. I like kind of moving the meta around a bit just because it keeps you guys on your feet. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the new recipe system, and yeah, appreciate the feedback.
And can I have another question off topic?
Depends on what it is.
Like, so I've had an application about helper, like staff role for like 4 months. So just so I keep my hopes up or just forget about it.
I mean, I will say we never deny staff applications. It's either a case of, you know, if you don't hear anything back, it's typically just a case of we haven't done those applications yet, or, you know, every couple of months we'll do like a full reset on those. So, you know, keep your eyes out for, I guess, either of those two outcomes. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's been like 4 months, and I just wanted to know if I should keep my hopes up or not.
Always have hope. But yeah.
Okay.
Anything
sir,
else?
Sir. Nah, sorry for my English. It's late.
No worries, no worries. I feel like I'm struggling myself, so... Alright, well, you have a good one. It's weird. Streamer mode hides random names, and I don't know which names they are. Yep.
I got a few things. Are we getting an adventure catalyst next season?
I will say definitely not for release. But oh, this is gonna be a fun one for you guys. I don't even know if I want to say this. Do I? Yeah, why not? It's fun. We are looking. I've mentioned the word realms a few times. We are considering the idea. Don't take this for verbatim. We're considering the idea of adding potentially another realm later on in the map. And I think if we were to implement that realm, a adventure set will be appropriate. I won't say what realm it is. I'll let you guys figure that out.
Cooking Mama.
Yeah, the Cooking Mama gives Bandit set GGW logic. But yes, yeah, maybe you'll have to see.
Also filter. Filter is missing a lot of items.
Yeah, I'll say. I'll answer that now. I know exactly what that is. We moved over to a new filter system. I mean, as you can see, like over the past couple of weeks, things have looked like more and more different. That's something like we're continuing to expand upon. I know we're looking to get kind of like more subcategories for those, just so we can organize it more and more. And as we get more of those features in place, you know, more items can get added there.
No, I think that's it.
Cool.
Got nothing else.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
Have a good one. Got MGA back up here.
Oh, hello again.
Hello again.
So I was wondering if we can get fishing buffed again, like it was a few maps ago.
Like it was a few maps ago. Not gonna happen.
I think everyone is missing that, to be honest.
Not gonna happen. I will say this though, because I think it's interesting. Actually, I'm gonna say something else. Fishing, I think, is a really interesting one because obviously all 4 of the skills which exist within the game are kind of based off of something which exists in vanilla Minecraft, that being mining, fishing, farming, slaying. That's the last one. And I think, I'm going to be honest, I think those core mechanics are all fairly boring. I think the most boring at the moment is fishing, just because, you know, it's kind of the same as the others, except you need to stay locked in order to do it. I just don't think there's a whole lot of cool content there. And we are playing around with some new ideas in regards to fishing. We're considering larger changes, potentially map 9. Not saying if it is or isn't going to happen, but just we're considering it. And then also there's going to be some cool new fishing mechanics within the fishing realm going into this map. So but you'll just have to see what that is.
Okay, what about mining? Is the mining getting changed, like the gem chance and stuff, +1s?
Nothing for release, no.
Okay. That's about it, I think.
Cool.
I mean, mining is overall more boring than fishing now.
I think
there.
between slaying, farming, and mining, it's about the same. Because, for the most part, it's just holding keys. Fishing is the only one which is a little bit different, but that's because it requires you to, stay locked in, as I was saying. But, I mean, for all of them, I think they could definitely use some sort of, I don't know, more gamification, we can call it, and I'm always open to ideas. So if any of you guys have any thoughts, definitely put those in suggestions, because I'm all for making those much more interesting.
There is the thing called auto fishing that 90% of Cosmic already has.
Alright, MGA. Anything else?
Yeah, that's about it.
Alright, have a good one.
See ya.
Let's do Zenith.
Hello.
The
Okay, so I had a question. So this map we got a big facility change since not a lot of people in the community actually get affected by that. I was wondering if you guys had any plans for maybe moving bosses over to neutral or a chance for neutral like we had. I think
already
2 or 3 maps
confirmed.
ago.
Already confirmed.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, especially with the Catalyst, it's definitely something we want more people to be able to interact with. Still, relatively should be for those top alliances, but that way it's not controlled by one specific group.
Okay, that was all I had.
Cool. Nishu.
Hey, what's up, guys?
That was like a YouTube
got a
intro
few
right
questions. Got a few questions on behalf of other people and myself, but first one I've got from One Gun. Bees, trees, any changes in that regard? It's kind of very RNG right now. You go freaking 3 hours without a hive, and then you get 10 hives in the next 10 minutes. Any changes planned for that?
Like how that rhymed. It's something where originally the only way we wanted those items being obtained, that being larva, honeycomb, all of that, was going to be specifically from, I'll label it foraging, that being the act of cutting down trees. But, I feel like we just didn't really have the content there for release, so it kind of got moved over to, we wanted majority of the resources to be obtained from Island Quest, and I can confirm now most of those resources are obtained from Island Quest, but obviously that's just because it's a system interacted with by many more players. So if you as a player want to get the most of those resources as possible, it is still meta for you to, go out of your way and cut down those trees. I agree, the RNG system, what's there currently isn't the most entertaining. And at some point in time, and I've seen suggestions for this, and I've always said, I don't think we have enough content in order to do a foraging island skill. We have the wood types, but how would that be any separate from nodes or whatever mechanic that may be? I think with bees, we're moving in the right direction, but I still don't think we're there yet. I think if we kind of expanded on the bee system a little bit more, I think potentially in future maps it could kind of be turned into some sort of foraging skill. And then, that system definitely would be a lot more interactive, different tree types. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. But I think it would be a cool update. I just don't think we kind of have the needed system for that yet. I think we need to let it cook a little bit longer, and then maybe it's something we can consider.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next one, also from One Gun. Any plans for the rarity of the Berry Bee Benson and the questing Quincy pets? Are they gonna be dyers? Are they gonna be I don't know, what's a common pet? Battle pigs?
I mean, I will say for now they are just in. I believe the only table I put them in were pet boxes. For now, I mean, I will say they're both on the rarer side. I will say Quester Quincy is by far the rarer of the two. That mostly just being because they're new pets. Obviously, as people obtain them, mess around with them, we might add them to a couple of new sources. The Berry Bee pet, I don't mind being on the more common side. Well, kind of more rare than the other pets, but not like dire level. But Quester Quincy is designed to be a definitely a much more exclusive pet, and I'll say now, like, much more rare than a dire wolf. And I did put a much there, but I hope you can understand why.
Sorry, I've got quite a few. But next one from, I'll do mine next. I heard rumors of something regarding questing and their impact on trophies. Like, and how, like, as the system is currently, you kind of don't want to quest on a main island. Any plans for that?
I'll say
Or was self-spoils the only thing?
I'll say I will do one more question. Not one more question. I'll do one more person after you before I lock people's permission to speak. Or not speak, but people's permission to raise their hands. And then afterwards, I want to have a more in-depth discussion about the changes we're going to be making to Trophy Top next map.
Okay.
So I won't answer that now,
next
but
one.
we'll have that talk.
Yeah, next one, also my question. What's up with Bountiful Farm? Bountiful Farm feels like a neglected almost adventure. It was the only one not in like the early loot tables, and it came out later. The freaking Beanstalk mini event doesn't work. There's no catalyst in the shop. Just what's up with Bountiful?
I've said a few things about Realms. I will say this now. We are doing a full rework for Dwarf Realm, full rework for Fishing, full rework for Fairy. Not Enchanted Forest. Bountiful Farm, I hate to say it, we are, at least for release, putting it out of its misery. Depending on how the other three realms are received, Start of the World, if we get request to bring it back, like, updated, potentially adding, like, a catalyst there, who knows. Obviously, we can do that, but for now, we didn't think it was worth the time, like, fully reworking that system when it isn't even, too well received as it is currently.
Wow. Rest in peace to my favorite realm.
Rest in peace, indeed.
These next two are from 04. Is Autobot limit increasing? Like, there was a discussion about increasing Autobot limits to decrease the effectiveness of alt islands. Is something like that happening?
I will say it is more up in the air now than it ever has been. It's something... I didn't word that well. It's something we are much more willing to look into now than we have in the past. I'll word it that way. And once again, we'll get into Island Top discussions and we'll talk about that.
Okay. Last one, I believe, also from before. Are we gonna have the usual patch notes come out, like, not even 24 hours before the map starts? I know patch notes is a lot of work for you guys, but it's really irritating to plan when you don't have patch notes, that type of thing.
I understand that. Obviously, our goal is always 24 hours beforehand, but it's a case of, we have been working to get things done like the past couple of weeks, as we always do with resets, but there's still a lot we are trying to fit into this map, and it's a case of we would rather release the patch notes later and know what exactly we're releasing that map, and being able to fit everything into the map, rather than potentially leaving out content, because when doing like a reset week like we're going to be doing, we're typically working like up until the map releases to get as much done as possible and add as much content we can to the map. So I will say our goal is always 24 hours, whether that'll be a couple of hours earlier, a couple of hours later, that's to be determined. But as of right now, it's kind of a necessary evil.
Alright, I believe that's all I had.
Cool,
Thank
cool. And I will say once again, I will take the next person when I am done answering their questions. I will lock people's permission to raise hands, so now is the time. But here, let's do CHQL.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask, the quest loot table. Are we like redoing that or like standardizing it at some point? Because there was lots of like tiny issues with it.
I know Tater had to step out here. What I'd say is that, once again, is his department. If you want to make a suggestion thread and ping him directly, I'm sure it's something he would be able to answer for you.
All right. And also, that's it. Rest of it would be Astop related. So yeah.
Cool. All right. I am going to close raising hands in 10 seconds. So now is the time. Do like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Let's see. Dude, everybody's already gone. Yeah, let's do Resistus.
Okay. So this is something we had a lot of talk during the map. Neutral versus chaotic. Is there anything gonna be changed around that? Because it was a bit annoying to fight against so many neutral people all the time.
Yeah, we were considering more dramatic changes, but for release, the only change we're going to be making in regards to that is neutral players are going to have a damage reduction against chaotic.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yep.
Okay. Also, blessed and injury, are these enchants ever gonna get changed? Because blessed is too strong and injury is too weak.
It's something we can look into.
Okay. That's pretty much all. Thank you.
Cool. We'll just go from the top. Everyone here will go. C, it won't let me see the full name, but C, welcome to the stage, if you're here.
Yo. Hey, how y'all doing? First of all, I just want to ask that.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. All right, so I got a question on the bees, man. I fuck with the bees, bro.
Yeah?
I feel like we could use some enchants. Yeah, yes, sir. I feel like we could use some enchants to increase the rarity or the drop rate on the hives and the larvae. So I'm not too aware if y'all are familiar with Terraria, but they got like, bee shit, like where you get damage, you can spawn bees, and I feel like that'd be a good enchant for like poison for adventure or PvPers. As well as like for axes, you can make enchants for the bees, like I said, to increase the rarity and shit like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's something we've discussed. It's a case of it wouldn't really feel appropriate to implement at the moment. There isn't really a place to implement them. If we ever were to go forward with, as I was talking about earlier, potentially turning bees into like its own island skill, that being foraging. You have different tree types, whatever it may be, giving it its own island tool. Then we would definitely be willing to add enchants. As of right now, I think it would just be more of like an awkward thing to implement than anything. But it's definitely something I'm willing to do if we do continue to move bees in that direction.
Yeah, man, these bees be crazy, bro. But all right, that's all I had to say. Y'all have a nice day.
All right, you have a good one. All right, that's G-Steer's word. Emote.
Yo, I just wanted to come back before the ISTOP thing and ask about the Ethertech gems. Will there be any changes to them?
I believe it was Resistas who asked a similar question. I mean, I think we definitely did a good job at making sure they were all very powerful for release, but hey, maybe we overtune them. I mean, that's for you guys to decide. So maybe. So if you have any feedback, I mean, put that.
17 in one hit is balanced, but that's up to you guys.
I mean, yeah. If you have any feedback, put it in a suggestion thread. And it's definitely something we can look into.
Yeah, no. You said it yourself. I feel like they're a bit much. But the rarity on them are good. They're just like really fucking good.
Cool. Yeah, I
Other than that, I just want to ask about the questing pet. If you were to compare, like, how many dyers would be able to pull before you pull one questing knife?
I wouldn't tell you
You
that.
know what I mean? You can't.
I wouldn't tell you that, but I'll
Can't tell
say
me
it's rare for release, and maybe we'll make it more common. I don't know, but for a new item like that, like we're not going to make it stupid common on release. And then if there's an issue with it, everyone and their mother has it. It's easier for us to start it out rare and potentially increase the drop rate as the map goes on.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's all. I'll come back when the ISW thing's done.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one. Jazzy, you owe Tater a knife, by the way.
I do. Orange Man got me lacking.
Yeah?
Is there anything? Yeah. Is there anything in the works that can bring the whole community or the whole player base to gamble together? Kind of like what Prisons did with Jab or Blackjack. Or
So I'd like to point. No. I'd like to point out we started this call by talking about your debt to one of our admins, and then you go on to ask about a gambling feature. That is not a responsible cosmonaut.
I don't even have Cosmonaut.
You guys are all cosmonauts. That's what the cosmic player base is called. It's
I don't have.
I'm not gonna say chat. What is this? All right.
Same amount as Toasty.
I don't know. I said earlier I'm open to the idea of item flips. Not that it will or won't happen, but
Well, item flips already happen, just without the actual flipping. It's just one.
yeah, but it'd show up in chat and look pretty. But
yeah, but the Jeb aspect, or like betting on something or somebody or like a sheep with like a zombie on it around the track.
Have a good one, Jazzy.
When's Prisons coming out?
Yeah. Guys, this is why you don't gamble. You'll end up like that guy.
I got a few things. Adventure map, are they getting updated?
Not definitely not start of the world, and I doubt we do anything later. But yeah, not this map.
Realms, new mechanics, new map.
I will say all of the above, but I don't know. You'll just have to see it for yourself.
The BR in-game loot table, so the gear that you get. There's not enough usage of custom enchants and max sets or whatever in the BRs. It'd be cool to see that, so I'd get the community more engaged in the PvP.
Could you say that one more time? Sounds like you said a couple of things there.
The BR loot tables, like the in-game ones.
Yeah.
Where you get gear and they don't have much custom enchants and.
Oh yeah, those literally haven't been tweaked since some old Sky, and I will say, I've already said this, but mini games is something which they're on the table this map. They're on the table. So that potentially will get changed.
System override for quests.
It's something where people say that, but it's just I don't know. We're definitely not just gonna add a system override for no. It would be its own thing if we ever were to do anything like that. And I've yet to see a unique idea for how we could implement something like that. We already implemented the Quest of Quincy, which is designed to be a rare thing related to Quest. I don't know. I'm open for something, but nothing has stood out to me yet. And also, questing is already ridiculously good. I don't think it needs anything OP like that yet. But maybe.
Yeah, I also like to talk on that static 5. It is insanely hard to get, and sort of is balanced for the rarity. Pretty sure I was the only one to ever pull it this season, and I opened so many gems. So.
Well, like I said, I'm open to community feedback. Obviously, right now it's staying the way it is because that's the way it is. But we're willing to look into nerfs or whatever needs to happen there. So.
That should be all.
Cool. People keep DCing, and I almost sent myself to the audience again. Sir Willis, welcome back up.
Hello. I have 3 quick questions.
3 questions?
So, if
No,
you-
go for it.
Yes. If you ever played Rust, do you know how there's a wheel of...
I never played
fortune, I
Rust,
guess?
but I know of that mechanic. Yeah, isn't it like you gamble like resources? Yeah.
Yes, and like it would be fun if you could do that with slots.
These people,
is
man.
there any way
Make a suggestion thread. Not a conversation I'm looking to have here.
Okay, I have 2 more.
Okay.
If you ever played Hypixel, there are like seasons in the Skyblock, you know. What do you think about adding that?
I think that appeals to a game mode which doesn't reset, and Sky does not have a good history with those features. I think
No, but
I
mean,
think
if the
Hypixel
map is like...
it
Go ahead.
I think Hypixel has a lot of cool features, and it's always good to take inspiration, like where you can take inspiration. But I think something like that is, it's, I don't know. I don't see it being that applicable to Sky. I'm all for having random events where maybe throughout the maps, I don't know, different crops or different materials become more valuable, something like that. Like, sure, but I wouldn't want it to be something as outright as, you know,
Yeah,
this week it's one
that's-
thing, this week
that's
it's
what I
another
mean.
thing.
No,
Yeah.
No. It would be like maybe if the map is like few months, like 1 month is summer and the fishing gives most XP. The next is winter and the mining gives most XP, you know? Something in that range, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm up for the idea. If you have any specifics of what you would want us to do, I mean, once again, suggestion thread would be the place to put it. You know, I read through each and every one. So, oh, is my mic cutting out?
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit, but it's fine.
Okay, I'll
And
fix that
one
here
more
in a minute.
question.
Yes.
What, like, is there any chance that you can add the backpacks for the adventure or something like that?
I think what was it that existed before? It was like mule. No. It was like a pet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Pack
is
mule.
like a mule.
There we go. I mean, we already do have the mule mechanic. I'm sure it would be utilized if we were to implement anything like that. I just don't think in the current state of Sky it's necessarily needed. You know, we have the item filter, all of that. Potentially later down the road, it's just not super high priority because
Yeah,
we
I mean,
already have
not
other mechanics.
like in the KO area. Like you can't bring it in KO area, but like in the safe, I guess, area that you can have a backpack. I think that would be, you know, beneficial.
Maybe. I mean, I think I've said this for all 3 of your questions, but I mean, suggestion thread. I'm down to hear community feedback if it's something a lot of players request. You know, I'm all for looking into that. But just from what I believe, and you know, there's not a whole lot of value in that. I'm not the one playing the game, but I just don't think there's a whole lot of utility to that as it is. But yeah, make a suggestion thread and we can look into it.
I mean, I'm kinda illiterate in English, so I can't make a suggestion, but those are all my questions. Thank you.
Cool. Alright, well, you have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
To end it off, MGA Boss Gaming. Isn't this your 3rd time up here?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I wasn't gonna talk, but then after those 2 before me, I think we need more gambling, you know? Like some blackjack.
Alright, so who's ready to talk about trophies? Yippee! Hold up, I'm pulling it. I have a notepad for this, guys. Actually, it's a checklist, but... Alright. Give me 1 second. And did I fix my mic? I think I did. Maybe. Maybe. Potentially, maybe. No, I'm muted. Yeah, shut up. It's fine. Okay. Where did I put it? There we go. Okay. So I kind of want to walk you guys through the base idea we have, and I will start by saying I know I have discussed an idea with a couple of people in the community. We have made some changes since then, and I kind of want to just walk you guys through where, at least where my mind's at right now, and taking your feedback, because it is something where I think a lot of players just aren't satisfied with the current trophy system, and I want to make sure that going into this next map, we kind of come up with a system where we can make as many people happy as possible, and we can create a system which has as, the most longevity as possible. Because I think we've changed the trophy system in some way, shape, or form every single map since Sky released, and I would love to kind of, I don't know, get something which sticks around a little bit longer. So, to get started, I guess, the change we're looking to make is keep the idea of trophies, except fully cut off the manual aspect of things. So, as of right now, when you have your bots going, your harvesters going, your fishers going, all of that, there's just a chance that on action, when it breaks a crop, when it kills a mob, it can proc a trophy. We would be keeping that aspect of things. And in addition to that, we would be auditing trophy numbers. So, like right now, it's literally just harvesting which has any value when it comes to those trophies. We would still want harvesting to be number one, just with the idea of trophy crops and all of that. But we would want it to be, and I'm just spouting numbers, it won't be this, but maybe like 50% of crops, or 50% of trophies come from farming. The other 50% are like the other 3 skills. We want there to be value there, but farming should remain number one. So trophies are only going to be coming from automation, and that raises the idea of where does the comp come from? For the most part, most people have very similar automation setups. I know there's some degree of strategy, but the idea is manual still needs to play an impact. And I think right now the issue is if you have 10 people manually grinding on your island, automation almost becomes irrelevant. That just being, the amount of actions done by 10 players just supersedes, the 30 bots that you have placed down. And I think the manual content we have on Sky, I was talking about this earlier, it's just not what it could be. And our solution to that is kind of, what is one system on Sky that requires manually grinding, which, there's a little bit more to it, and that's the quest system that I'll say kind of perfected, polished off map 7. So the whole basis of the system is you're getting these trophy points from automation on your island, and as you're completing quests, you will have a shared island boss bar, which is effectively just a multiplier for those trophy procs from automation. That being, the more quests you do, the more stars you get on them, the higher tier quests, the more you kind of boost this multiplier. So it's essentially going to turn into a game of whose island can set up automation the most effectively, whose island can complete quests the most effectively. So there will still be an aspect of manual, still be an aspect of automation, but hopefully it's going to be kind of presented in a more entertaining fashion than we have currently. And then the idea is that you will be able to increase this multiplier in some way, shape, or form, based off of PvP events as well. So if your island completes in Koth, maybe you get a bonus multiplier. If you kill a boss, you get a bonus multiplier. I won't say what exactly it is because it hasn't been, implemented into loot tables, all of that yet. But that's kind of the basis for the idea. And I'm sure there'll be, small tweaks to it, but I do want to hear your feedback on that base idea. And yes, trophies will remain uncapped. If you hit level cap, we're actually removing the, right now it's you get 40% the trophy gain once you hit level cap. We're completely getting rid of that. It's now going to be 100%. We're trying to kind of kill the correlation between Island EXP and trophies. The idea, because yeah, it's not going to be manually grinding anymore. It's the idea of just, it's your automation. It's about how well you set that up on your island. And also things such as like player island EXP boosters. Obviously, that's affecting your player. Like something like that, like won't affect trophy gain anymore. And if it wasn't clear, I'm not looking to drag anyone up for this. I'm kind of just looking to have this discussion in the chat. So I'm open to any feedback. Wouldn't this mean it's good to have 0 nullifiers at all times? Yeah, I mean, honestly, we'd probably get rid of nullifiers. There is no limit. There's, because, you know, what's the point in that? That just de-incentivizes players to actually grind on their island. We don't want that. So yeah, there would be no utility to nullifiers. Any action on your island is a good action. We want to bring back these island warps. Change each adventure. Will people be able to go down a tier to mass complete quest? Something like that. That is something we would need to look into. It's a case of, I mean, technically, if you're down a level cap, you're going to be grinding lower tier resources. Because you got to keep in mind, you're still getting trophy procs based off your automation. And if you don't have like high tier crops unlocked and your bots aren't grinding those, you're just naturally going to get lower trophy procs. We'll see if we need to do any balancing in regards to that. Obviously, we're going to do our testing. But if that becomes an issue, yeah, we can look into that. Is there a cap on the multiplier? The idea is, we were toying around between the idea of, like, let's say I complete a quest and my multiplier goes from, like, 1 to 1.01. I think we've kind of decided that instead of doing that, we want it to be big jumps so you guys feel the difference. So it jumps from 1 times to 2 times to 3 times. And as you increase that multiplier, it'll be harder and harder to get. Maybe it's like 20% more difficult each time. So one level requires, we'll call these, I don't know, quest points, which you just get based off of what quest you complete. Maybe the first one requires 1 million quest points. The next one is 1.2 million, so 20%. 20% of that, I don't know, 1.44 million, I think that is. And it just it continues to get harder and harder the higher you get the multiplier. Who knows what the numbers end up being, but yeah. And one thing, a couple of things with those multipliers I think I forgot to mention to you guys. We want it to be a case of 2 things. It will naturally tick down slowly. I mean, for those prison players in here who are like aware of like the momentum enchant, kind of think of that, where just it'll never be a case of you don't interact with quests for 10 minutes. It just jumps from what, like a 5 times multiplier to 0. But just if you're not grinding quests actively, it will slowly tick down. And then also we had the idea of maybe it's every week, maybe it's every 2 days, who knows how often. But every couple of days, we just want the multipliers to jump all the way back down to 0, so everyone goes back down to a level playing field. And it's something where if one island gets a ridiculous multiplier start of the world, that won't keep them going till the end. Like, it will reset occasionally. When an island hits over the level cap into a new adventure, they shouldn't be able to get a trophy booster from prior adventures. And yeah, like maybe it's just a case of these multipliers reset on sprint. I don't know. You know, that's the type of thing which is still up in the air. And I'm sure we'll, you know, kind of perfect while testing. Can we get a quest point CF? Dude, you guys are at it today. You can't support automation with +2 people questing with current spawner limit. Something like that. Yeah, that's an easy thing to change. Mutated mob limit. Mutated mobs are something which I think weren't super relevant in the last map, other than questing. But for like trophy points, all of that. The reason they were initially added, yeah, it wasn't utilized. With the changes we're looking to make, they definitely would be much more utilized. And, you know, there's definitely room for us to expand on them. Potentially add new mutated mobs. Who knows? And yeah, the reason we're doing multipliers from these PvP sources rather than just being I don't know, you get 10,000 trophy points, 100,000 trophy points. We want later in the map Bandit King, like these lower tier bosses. They should still be relevant. And that's why we wanted it to be kind of like a multiplier based off of where that player is in the map. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a case of something like the Nightmare is going to give a higher multiplier than the Bandit King, because those higher tier bosses should have higher value, but we still want there to be utility to them. We won and I think Island Top is really interesting, because I've always kind of said that I think Alliance Top makes a lot more sense for Sky, because I want the leaderboard to kind of be based off of who's the best group on the server, not just necessarily the best island. But Island Top's the system that we have. And, you know, even though it isn't an Alliance Top, I still want the leaderboard to kind of be a combination of who's interacting with not just Island the best, but Adventure the best, and Facility the best, and Koth the best, and, you know, all of the cool mechanics we have on the server. I think it shouldn't just be Island. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Island is still at the core, obviously, it's Skyblock, but... I'm catching up on messages now, I was scrolled up a bit. No, we are definitely not adding gambling with the system, but nice try. I thought you guys would be a lot more vocal about this. I mean, no instant complaints. I will always take that as a good sign, but... Are these boosters physical items? They are, and I realize that there's a problem there of people hoarding them. That would either be a case of maybe we move it away from physical items, or just add some sort of expiration date to them. There's a lot we can do there. But the actual booster on the island for questing, all of that will just be a boss bar. But like what at the moment is designed to be an item, yeah, that's just like the boss drop, the Koth drop, whatever it may be. But, you know, you can add something there. Like I said, either expiration or who knows. If you're completing a boss or Koth, you need to add a team leader, and that's what that's another idea I had in mind. If it's not an item, if it's something we want to have automatically claimed, maybe like if you're on 10 different islands, you need to select like your primary island, and then maybe it doesn't drop as an island, it just automatically applies. I mean, I like that as well, because that kind of kills like the kind of like, I know a lot of people have complained about like the PayPal aspect of things. That would kind of kill that off, at least for that feature. Make it apply for whenever you complete the Koth boss to the island. Yeah. I mean, once again, that's up in the air. I'm not going to give a definite answer because, you know, I want to see the system in play before doing that. But yeah, we have a couple of potential solutions in mind. Multipliers, big brain? Not sure. See, there's a couple of multipliers here. I don't know if you're referring to the questing or the ones from PvP, but yeah, I really like the idea of multipliers. Without them being auto-applied, there's more of a divide between Island and Adventure, because then whatever Adventure group wins doesn't need to do anything about Island and can just sell off those boosters to the highest bidder. Yeah, that's, you know, I see both sides of it. I mean, you could argue there, like, you know, you're controlling eco, but at the same time, you know, I understand there's like a PayPal side of things. I don't know, to be determined how exactly we implement that. But yeah, I want you more focused on the idea of, you know, not like the kind of like fine mechanics like that. That's whatever. We can make an easy tweak there, but kind of like the system as a whole, because that's the main thing I want to kind of have your guys' feedback on. Bit worried about whether the system will actually encourage diversity in what's automated. What's to stop islands from using only the trophy crops and the multiplier? The idea, obviously, trophy crops are going to be the best way to get trophies. I said I still want farming to be best in class. Yeah, you're right. But at the same time, you know, there's no longer going to be any downside. There's no bad trophies. Why would I only have trophy crops placed when maybe that's not enough to sustain my automation as well as all the people I now want questing on my island? You know, I doubt people are even going to be able to get that many trophy crops. I'm sure people are going to have a mix of both. And then obviously there's still going to be a case of people needing, you know, nodes, spawners, all that good stuff. Are you going to boost the rewards for adventures on island? Because no PvP group wants to collaborate with an island. They do not care about top. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I think that's a very interesting take, because I agree, in the current state of Sky, that's what it seems like. But at the same time, that's kind of what the Sky game mode was built upon. You need people in different roles, and I'm kind of disappointed that we've moved away from that. And I think it's a case of, if we require that in the top system, I'm hoping by kind of putting pressure there, it kind of moves us back in that direction. But yeah, I really like the idea of having different roles be required on your island, because yeah, I feel like that's just not what we have at the moment. Will there be a Q&A before the system is finalized or implemented? I don't know about that, because reset's only a week away, but this is something where I'll continue to be vocal about, whether I'm bringing in players to test or, you know, just sitting up in the general calls. If I think it's necessary, I'll definitely have another Q&A. But, you know, with reset being so close, I found that somewhat unlikely. Yeah, and Brendan, maybe that was just this map, but hopefully going into, like, next map, if we implement the system, then, you know, that's what it kind of turns into. But we'll see. Obviously, that's kind of more of like a player thing. I have no idea how players will respond to this, but, you know, it's the type of thing where we implement the system and kind of just see how players respond. Player role specialties linked specifically to islands would be a good idea. Yeah, and I don't even think it needs to be, like, you start a new account. I know some servers have this. You start a new account. Do you want to be I don't know, an islander, adventurer, like a quester? Like, it doesn't need to be anything like that, no. But yeah, I like the idea of players kind of, you know, having their preferred area of gameplay, or maybe they're good at one aspect of the game, and that's kind of what their island kind of like relies on them on. That's what their group kind of relies on them for. Kaiser, we're potentially looking to make the different top leaderboards give like a title or something like that, but that won't be start of the world. We didn't need PvP to compete the past maps. If PvP is needed, the groups that want to compete will find a way to integrate PvPers into their group, and that's how I see things. Yeah, I agree, Stevie. I'm gonna be honest, I like the idea of hoppers being rare. And hey, if you don't have that, maybe you need to do more water tunnels. I don't know. Link chest. You just need to play automation safer. For now, I want to keep this IS top related, though. Are there any ideas to change the leagues? This map was kind of dumb, and my island finished #1 in steel. Yeah, I've said that this map, and I said going into this map, the numbers for leagues were going to be kind of odd, off, I don't know, pick a word. That just being, we needed to end this map with people in each and every league. That was our goal. We needed people in Celestial for rep points. We're looking to change the way the promotion and demotion system works. So for the most part, most people will be staying within their league. It's only going to be the top handful which get promoted, and it's only going to be the bottom percentage which get demoted. I believe, like the Neon League, it was like 50% promoted, 50% demoted. No one stayed in their league, and obviously that caused some issues, but it was a necessary evil. But we're looking to move away from that going into map 8. I love jumping in adventure and chilling, doing island quests. It should still be viable for people to do both, and that's what I want. That's why I don't want to have like any like hard like you join the server, you pick what you're gonna do. Like some servers have with classes. I don't want to do that. You know, I just want people to interact with the systems they enjoy. It'd be silly to want anything otherwise. Jazzy, I will just note EXP bottles. I was thinking Island EXP boosters when I read that. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's a Tata conversation. Any update on player TP functionality being removed from TP pads? I'll say it's still something we're looking into. I personally would like that start of the world, but I need to discuss that with the team. I imagine that's an easy change to make, though, so I'm not stressed about that. If it needs to be a week 1 thing, it's a week 1 thing. Resistas, yeah, I agree. No, and I'm saying I want islands to kind of require a little bit of everything. That just being, you can't survive purely off of adventure, you can't survive purely off of quests. I don't care who on the island is doing what, I don't care if everyone on the island is doing everything, as long as, you know, the island as a whole is interacting with all portions of the game. That's my point. I just don't want to lock people into doing one specific thing, because that's, you know, demotivating. They'll get bored of it. Give League buffs some more adventure buffs, like the gem reveal one. Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely something we can look into, now that we have this. I really like the base, like, idea of leagues. I think now that that's kind of put in place, we're going into next map with people in each position. I think, there's definitely a lot more we can do with it. Islanders need the PvPers. The PvPers don't need anything from islands. I would disagree, because you got to keep in mind that while, yeah, you get some level of multiplier from boss, whatever it may be, majority of the multiplier you are going to be getting from questing. You need to interact with your island for that. You will need to. Lol Rager, I suggest pulling up the wiki for that. Yeah, it's HQL, we don't even really need homes, though. I'm gonna be honest. It's, yeah, not super utilized. I mean, no more than, like, 1 or 2, but... is this chat only? For now, it's chat only. I'll open hands back up here in a minute. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to have a bit of a talk with everyone where no one's voice is louder than everyone else's. Other than mine. Mwahahaha. I still don't get the idea, and I've seen a couple of people say it now. Adventures do not need the Islanders, because the system is still heavily based off the idea of questing. You know, your core trophy procs are from automation, and you're multiplying that from questing. You can get additional multipliers from boss and all of that, but you still need to constantly have people questing. And I'm still scrolling down, so maybe you've already responded to that, but... Add more seasonal event-based recipes to add more incentive around cosmic crates. Ooh, different conversation, but hey, we have Halloween coming up, maybe. Oh my god. It bugged out and it closed me. I was like super scrolled up and it moved me down, so I might have missed some people's messages. Let's see if I can find where I was at. What do PvPers need from Island if they don't care about Island Top? If they don't care about Island Top, yeah, I guess you're right. But this is specifically regarding Island Top changes. Yeah, I'm specifically looking at Island Quest, or not Island Quest. Sorry, well, kind of. I'm specifically looking at Island Top here. The loot side of things is an entirely different conversation because nothing should be changing between last map and this map in regards to that. I'm sure we can make some audits to the Primal Blade enchant. Yeah. More like in general? Okay, yeah, that's... Just because I'm referring to Island Top here, that's what I want this conversation focused on. Yes, they will, Redfish. They still need to quest. Dylan, I want you to know I have seen that message in your past 10 messages. Just not what we're talking about right now. Well, CHQL, we don't even know if they're going to be items or not. I personally don't like the idea of them being items, so... Slim, that's fair. I mean, that's definitely something we can look into, just see how we can add kind of like, potentially like PvP buffs, either behind the leagues, or, I don't know, behind Island Top. We can look at that. Stevie, no, all those numbers are up in the air. That's purely just going to be testing. I don't want it to be a case of players are stressed out about it. It's more of an idea, you know, just so it's not constantly going up. You know, you need something to bring it back down if they're not touching it. But it's not going to be like I mean, I described this with the momentum enchant on prisons, where after I think it was like 15 minutes without grinding, it goes to 0. It won't be that. It would be hours, if anything, but... I do like the implications of not PvP, sorry, XP that you guys are mentioning, because I think, yeah, that's definitely something PvPers kind of rely on Islanders for. And in a couple of minutes here, I am gonna open back up hand raising. We've been going for like an hour and a half. We'll probably be here another like 30 minutes. But yeah. Yeah, Stevie, it's not for that reason. It wouldn't do that. I'll tell you that much. It wouldn't even be a reset at some point. It's just decay. If it gets to 0, it gets to 0, but... Alright, I'm going to open back up hand raising. If, for at least the next couple of people, if we could keep this to Island Top. If, we run out of that, we can go back to other questions for this, last 30 minutes. But for now, I want to keep it to that. RTZ. Ritzy, whatever.
Yo.
Hello, hello. What is the correct way to pronounce your name? I catch myself saying both.
So back when I used to play Prisons, it was Ritzy, with an I. But I changed my IGN when I quit playing Prisons, and then I couldn't get that IGN back. But it's Ritzy.
Yikes! Well, I got it right. Okay.
It's okay. So with the change regarding Islanders needing the adventurers / PvPers and stuff, could you make it so that, or can we talk about making XP be something that's you obtain less player XP in adventure, and then on island it's also harder to get, because that's the #1 thing that adventurers really need, especially chain and beginning of iron. But towards end of iron, it kind of falls off, and it's just not really needed anymore because there's just so much of it in the economy that diamond and nether, there's just too much of it. But if you keep it so that it's needed quite heavily, it's kind of hard to get at all stages, then adventurers are going to be begging the islanders for XP, and you could kind of create a mutual relationship there.
I'm giving Tater just a quick poke to see if he's around. If not, I can just forward this by him after. But I do like that idea, at least.
Because right now, the amount of XP that drops in adventure, as somebody who has grinded adventure for 12 hours straight, you get about 75% of the amount of XP you need to open all your gems. So it's not quite 100%, but that other slight amount of XP you can just buy an AH for dirt cheap, because it's whatever. You get almost all you need. So if you were to reduce that by half, if not more than half, and then also reduce the XP on island, so that it's just harder to get, that would be really nice. It would help the islanders have something to actually give these PvPers. Same with, I think it was Stevie or somebody else said same with Science Gold, and I agree with that too, because Science Gold is something that's relatively common, but if you were to make that a little bit rare, and then also make it so it's not 28 days in, it's 12 or 15 days in, so, for the requirement to get science nodes, and then that would be another thing.
I'll say an idea I toyed around with, and this is going back a couple of maps now, so not leaks or anything, who knows if it's going to happen, but just having different variations of the science node. There's so many different types of gold blocks in the game. So maybe you get just a regular science node in first adventure, and then when you get the second adventure, you get a deep slate gold node, and then third adventure, it's nether gold node. You get the idea. And obviously, the lower the tier of node, the less science you're actually producing. But that way, it would kind of be linked directly to island, and people would be able to start generating those resources on their island. Essentially as soon as Abandoned Ruins release, day 1. So.
I wouldn't be against that. I think adding gold, day 1, aka Unchained Adventure, would be really good if it's even just a teeny tiny amount, but reduce the amount you get from adventure, make it so that it's obviously you still get some from adventure, but make it primarily an island based resource, because it's needed for everything in the game. It's needed for adventurers, for trinkets, it's needed for PvPers, for Aether Enchants facility cards, it's needed for island, for hoppers and chests and shit. It's needed by everywhere. So if you make it a primarily island type resource, it would be a really good resource that islanders can provide to the PvPers adventurers. Because the way you want the IS top system is that you need kind of everything within a group. It's supposed to be alliance top rather than island top. So I feel like you need to create more balance in terms of things that the PvPers need from the islanders. Because majority of them either just play for PayPal or play to just, win a map PvP wise, and they don't care about IS top.
Yeah, I get it. By the way, I have not heard anything back from Tater, so I will. Actually, I said that and then he reacted. Maybe he might be jumping in here. I'll let you stay up here for like a couple more seconds just in case he does pop in. And here he is. All right. Tater, to bring you up to speed, we have been talking about Island Top for the past little bit. And essentially, the topic that we keep going in circles talking about is just this idea of different roles on the island. In that, going into this next map, we really want PvP to have a role in Island Top, and we want Island to have a role in Island Top. And the system we're looking to implement, it does encourage, PvP. Like, PvP will play an aspect in Island Top, but those PvPers don't really feel like they need anything from the island itself. So the people who play the server just to interact with PvP, they're not really motivated to even help out an island. Like, they're getting this thing which will benefit them on Island Top, but they don't really care to play with an islander group because it doesn't benefit them. And what Ritzy has been suggesting is the idea of greatly reducing the amount of island EXP going, or not island EXP, player XP going into the eco, and then really, really lowering the XP that is obtained from adventure. So the main source of XP will now be island, and the people trying to make these god sets, the people trying to interact with the PvP side of the server, will now heavily need to rely on islands in order to get this resource, to build their sets, to do whatever they want to do. So it now goes kind of both ways.
Same thing with science too, like greatly reducing science from adventure, like the science scraps, and maybe adding gold nodes or science nodes, whatever you want to call them, to chain adventure, like kind of like the idea that you mentioned, Duel, and you can make it like a small amount, but still so that way gold is primarily achieved through islands because it's needed for every aspect of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't care. I mean, if that's how we make it better, that's easy adjustments on the loot side of things.
Because the way that, like, if you want PvP to greatly be like needed for IS Top, you want to make sure that there's a balance, that like the islanders can have something that the adventurers / PvPers need that they can provide, and vice versa. But as it stands right now, there's nothing they really need. So for the adventurers, anyways, and you want to try and create that balance. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. I just, again, if this is what is decided to be done as far as making it relevant for PvPers to have to rely on islands in some way, shape, or form, sure. I mean, we can easily cut the amounts of XP that are be given out in adventure drops easily. Like, we can literally slash them by 10x or whatever to make it where, sure, you get a little bit, but relevancy wise, you still have to rely on an island to actually be able to do it. So
cool. I'm glad. I just want to reiterate, like, XP, yes, is a big one, but science gold is also just as important. So it would be both of those. It wouldn't be just one or the other.
Well, yeah, but same thing with science. I mean, science can easily be not necessarily cut like XP, but weight wise, you can cut it by 10x or again, make it much harder to obtain. So no, that's
cool.
He's easily able to be done.
Awesome. My only other question, now that Tater is in the call, Tater, when are you gonna do your like bi-daily voice calls again for loot tables? I miss those.
Bro, I've been busy. I have a vacation next week, and then after that,
Or didn't you just have a vacation?
Bro, it's the end of the year. I got to use my days.
Oh my god.
I work 3 jobs, bro. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Alright, well, that's all. Thanks, lads.
Cool. And yeah, Tater, I believe that's all I had instantly for you. Appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah. Poke me if you need me.
Cool. Alright. CHQL.
Okay. Well, first off, I'll say, like, I agree with what Ritzy said, and for like science gold, like, that should, in my opinion, that should just be like uh, island exclusive like it used to be in like map 1 and 2. So yeah, what I'll also ask is if you're making like PvP some like involved in iStop, then will the outpost do anything for that? Or no?
I don't know about Outposts. The idea starting off is we're going to keep it simple. It's just going to be multiplier. I just realized I was leaned back. I don't know if you heard me. Keeping it simple starting off, it's either just going to be items or maybe we skip the item part and as soon as it gets obtained, it gets applied, something like that. I don't want to do anything complicated with Outposts. But for now, I don't know. No, for now, it might get implemented later. Let's leave it as that.
Okay. Well, okay, the other thing. So this booster slowly decays is what you were saying, right?
Yes.
And is there a chance that we could like make it like reset on sprint? I know somebody brought that up in the text.
I said it'll be both. And I will confirm now. It will reset. What is up in the air is when it resets. Whether it's weekly, whether it's on sprint, whether it's on level cap, whether it's daily, to be determined. We need to figure out what works best for that. But it will reset as well. We don't want people to get ridiculous multipliers and then no one can catch up.
Can we have it be like you have like a week, but like you can like set your reset time on your island?
And I did mention I did mention that I don't want time zones to play a big factor.
Yeah.
And if it were to reset daily, I feel like we'd almost need to do something like that. If it resets any less frequent than that, I'm talking level cap, sprint, weekly, whatever it may be. I mean, I'd want to keep it 2 p.m. CST just in line with everything else. But you know, that's to be determined. I want to at least know how frequent we're doing it before looking at anything niche like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I
Even
understand the
even
concern.
weekly, yeah. Okay, yeah. Either ways, on like how the multiplier like grows, you said it was based on like the tier of quests and things like that.
Yes.
Right. So
That being elite, basic, not like adventure
Yeah.
type. Yeah.
Yes. But how does like the Quincy pet play into that? Do you intend for it to be broken for iStop?
Not really. When I say adventure tier will have an effect, that mostly just means, let's say, and I'm sure this isn't the number, but let's say Mythic takes 10 times longer than a basic to complete, it'll give 10 times as many points. That's what I mean by it has an effect. I don't intend for Mythic to be like anything broken when it comes to like Island Top. That just being, you need to keep in mind there's points in the level cap where Mythic isn't even out, and I don't want these multipliers to be like ridiculously low until it releases in the level cap, and then
Okay.
yeah.
so
But that's not
it's
meant to be a
like
big factor. Yeah, it
so
should
it's
all be
like
about the same.
it's not like RNG based where you get a mythic, you're really happy because you get a high multiplier off that, but you wouldn't have gotten it off of like 2 godlies.
Well, hopefully you're happy because you're getting a mythic, but yeah, it shouldn't be a case of it's playing like a big factor in like the amount of points people are getting. It should even out. Maybe it's a little bit stronger, but nothing crazy.
Okay, and also for like you're saying like the base system of automation XP it's basically like the same base system, but like manual will not give trophy gains, right?
You can call it
How
that.
trophies work.
You can call it that. Couple of other small changes. That being, there's no longer going to be like you hit max level, you're getting a reduced rate. That won't be a thing. All of the different skillables will now be relevant. It's not just like everything kind of scales in respect to farming.
Okay.
It'll scale in respect to its own skill.
New
the-
formula, basically, right?
But basically, what you said, yes. Overall,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
So here's something I'm gonna like just say before it happens, because it's gonna happen. Mining. Can we make an exemption for fuel, please? Because I will be importing fuel otherwise, and it's just a pain.
That's actually a good shout. I can think something up for that. But yes, that is a very good shout. Or maybe it still has an effect on Island Top, but it's just not as significant. I don't know. We can come up with something.
Resist is nothing. We remain free. I'm sorry.
Anything else?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Cool, cool. Almost DC'd Apple. Y'all look alike.
Huh?
Huh. Yeah, you've been awfully quiet there. Yeah, okay, Venice. Hello, hello.
So I think what a lot of people are saying, like a bunch of islanders, like, and I ran an island that finished top 10, and I did adventure. Both are, like, one is definitely more needed than others, but I think like people are saying, oh, remove XP or remove gold, and although I do think it will create some groups to do islands or like work with an island, like ultimately that's like not gonna do much in that area, because like map 1 and map 2 islands, like top islands had PvP groups, they did, and it just turns into a thing of like, oh, we want this for this, and then everyone's not happy because they don't want to give this because this is worth a lot, but they're not going to get this, they don't do that, and it's like a whole thing. But I think like the league, which I said earlier, is like a great way to do it, because like I had people who do island or who do PvP come to me and were like, we kind of want to do an island for this gem reveal chance, the Celestium buff, right? The 5%, what is it? It's a percentage to make perfects.
Something like that.
+1s.
Yes.
And like they wanted to do it. They don't know how good it is, but like that, like stuff like that, we're making it so like an IS top island like has a purpose in PvP, so like they actually need to contribute, because as of now you're just kind of like that. Changing the XP and the gold would be like, oh, you need an island, but you don't need a top island to do what you're to do, like the XP and do the gold and stuff like that. But like if you made it so like the buffs of those Celestium leagues, because I do think leagues are a great thing, then those PvP groups would like maybe want to give, not like need to give, but like want to give, because like people like gambling, so like the gem chance obviously is great because they want to gamble their perfects to, you know, get +1s, but like stuff like that like maybe make islanders or adventurers not need, you know what I'm saying, islands, but like want islands in an aspect on like the top leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, I think any sort of like XP, gold, whatever changes, it wouldn't be exclusive to that. I'm down to take a look into League Buff, see what we can do there. Like I said, I like the system. This map, we knew it was going to be messy. This was always going to be our placement map. We need people to get into the system before we can really use the system. So I'm down to kind of build off of it going into map 8.
And I still do think the XP and the gold thing is a great thing. I just think like forcing people to, you know, collaborate is like it's just something to cause pain to everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like making it so people want to, which they would want to do it if there were good buffs for PvP, then like that would, you know, maybe get your idea of like A top being IS top a thing.
Yeah.
But that's all I had to say.
Cool, cool. Sorry, I'm just taking a quick note. But yeah, sounds good.
One more thing. Landini wants me to tell you there's a tomato in your shop on Roblox.
Tell Landini I said thank you. Real quick downtime. Okay. That was a bit, by the way. I'm definitely not tapped into Roblox. Okay, we're good. Yeah, let me finish typing out my note. Okay. Next up. Big Joe. And really quick before you get going here, we have been going for almost 2 hours, so I will give you guys one last chance to raise your hand. Otherwise, in about like 10 seconds here, I am going to go ahead and close that. So you guys have 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow, real last minute there. All right, Big Joe, go ahead.
You hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. I think Nisha asked most of my questions, but I just wanted to add on from what we've talked about prior. Any update on the TP pad function for players?
Yep. That has already been briefly discussed. I don't like the ability where people are able to. I don't like people being able to teleport with those. I think it encourages macroing. It encourages that kind of lack of interaction with the game. So I'm all for changing that.
Next is, since questing is going to be more vital, thoughts on adding questing to /top?
We have a note for that. It won't be start of the world later in the map though.
Okay. And then I kind of missed the explanation for like how quests work, but like it's gonna be like some sort of multiplier when you do quests.
Some sort of multiplier, and I couldn't tell you exactly how it's working because I'm sure that's there's room for that to change. But there will be some sort of multiplier from quest. Yes.
My only worry about that is my team specifically has already unchecked a lot for macroing quests. So is there a worry about people hard macroing quests to have permanent 5x boost or whatever it is?
I mean, it's a case of, yeah, we'll continue to check for that. We will, I mean, as you asked right before that, removing teleport pads, I feel like will have a decent impact on kind of mitigating, like, a large portion of that, which is existing currently. I'm sure people will still do it. People will find ways around it, but, you know, if we check you and, you know, don't cheat. Don't cheat is the TLDR. So.
That's all I had.
Cool. And our final person for today's Q&A, who else but CHQL?
Okay, so first off, I'll just ask Resist this question.
No.
Will he get?
No, sorry, go on. I don't know what it is. I heard Resistance, I assumed it would be stupid, so, but go on.
Oh no, it is. He's asking, will there be any punishment for focusing people grinding neutral and KO every time? And like just hunting for them specifically.
Sounds like a strategy. I don't know.
Okay. All right. You guys need to stop talking. Either way. All right. The other question is, for player warps, will there? You guys have reverted all the nerfs to them, right? Because I'm not sure if it works.
What do you mean by you reverted the nerfs to them?
Like it was like 50% XP for non-members.
I believe it's 100 now. No, I think it's 100.
Okay. And also, just since you're trying to encourage player warps, and obviously they will be somewhat good, I assume, unless you just have a really large group. Are you doing anything with like burn blocks? Because they're just a pain to work with on player warps. Like
anything like that won't be for release. If we get that feedback and people are doing island warps and it's great, and a lot of people are complaining about them, we can definitely see what we can do to clean them up. I know on prisons it was. Oh, what was the command? CMAP, I think. It showed like the outline of your guards, doing something similar to that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if like Dubear and some other people in here, but like I had a player warp this map, and they were like there all the time that they could be, right? But like the thing is, it was annoying for like the members, like our own members, because the player warps are like. Like you set up the thing and it's like co-leader only, and now no one can get rotated because everyone is co-leader. It's just like a big mess.
I mean, I'll be honest, permission blocks are never a system I got super involved in. If you make a suggestion thread, note out like what exactly you want changed, and assuming nothing was ridiculous there, I'm sure it's something we can consider.
Okay. Yeah. And the other thing is like for the island, like for the new like formula, have you considered like I know I also suggested raising spawner limit. Have you considered like just slayers give insane amount of XP at high levels?
Yeah.
You can do infinitely more slayer actions than you can do farming actions.
That's why we want everything to be. We're literally changing it so everything gets scaled within its own skill. And that's not something we've had in the past, which makes that's why this map especially, we wanted to kind of raise the gap between different farming actions. Like, I think the difference between like a trophy crop and a non-trophy crop before was like 5% in terms of trophies. This map, I believe it was closer to 30%, but that also ended up lowering pretty much every other skill. And that's essentially just like a big downside we've had with the way things are currently set up. And we're looking to make each island skill independent, so that way we can make sure that slaying is still relevant without becoming super overpowered in comparison to, you know, the other skills.
No, I'm saying in the sense that if like Slayer tier 3s are on an island versus like Harvester 3s, like you should just like go test that once. I don't know if you have, because they do so many more actions than the Harvesters will do.
Yeah, I know. We'll just need to set up numbers to mitigate that. But that's, yeah. We're already aware of that.
Okay. Yep, that's it.
Cool, cool.
I'm supposed to say catch up. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Okay, good. Yeah.
Cool.
Alright, well, I believe that concludes the Q&A. I mean, I guess I'll leave the chat open here for like another minute or two if anyone has any dire thoughts, comments, concerns, but Slim, try logging in? I don't know. And I'm not talking about Toasty, that guy's a rat. Is there any plan? Oh, I gotta scroll up. Is there any plans to nerf the XP required to complete farming quest? Yeah, like I said, if we make any changes to island quest, it would be just number changes. So sure, potentially. That's an easy thing for us to mess around with. Yeah, Spider, I saw that. Island Leagues, if you could implement an auto promotion feature, someone has 1 mil trophies. I want to try next map with the changes we're already going to be making to leagues, and if we need to do anything further, we can do something further.
Can't wait to see the ingenious behind getting around teleport pads not being a thing in the future. If we end up doing that.
I don't want to do it, man. I don't like teleport pads. I'm a D1 teleport pad hater.
Dang. Or like make it so, like, if it's a teleport pad that teleports players, it has like an insanely long cooldown, like super rare, so it's like direwolf level of rare. You want to make a whole island worth of these? You gotta. Hey, that's pretty rare.
Gotta do what Hypixel does with their fishing, where you need to tilt your head ever so slightly every minute, or else, like, no warning, it just stops, like, you stop fishing things up. Gotta do something like that. Just kidding, it's evil. We never do that, but...
Hi, Pickle.
Yep.
Pickle.
Zenith, I mean, that's the goal, so... Alright. Well, I believe that concludes the Q&A. I appreciate you guys jumping in. As I said, I'm sure we'll be vocal over the next couple of days, whether in general or I don't know. You know how that stuff works. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next map, and yeah, we'll see you there.